Have you ever asked yourself why you feel guilty? Guilt, an emotion we've all experienced, isn't exactly a pleasant one, but like all emotions, guilt serves a purpose. It communicates something to us. It's not an emotion to be rejected, but rather one to be understood, managed, and lived with. Guilt is often a learned emotion, instilled in us through social and cultural patterns, personal beliefs, and moral values. It's heavily influenced by external factors and is deeply ingrained within our psyche. There are several concepts tied to guilt, such as self-demand, perfectionism, low self-esteem, and a low tolerance for frustration. These elements intertwine, creating a complex web that can make guilt feel overwhelming and almost inescapable. But remember, guilt is there to tell us something. It's an emotional alarm bell, reminding us to reflect and reassess. Instead of rejecting it, we need to accept, manage, and live with it. This is how we grow stronger from the experience. So how can you identify what triggers this unpleasant feeling of guilt? Well, one of the best approaches is to engage in a bit of self-questioning. This process can help you pinpoint the source of your guilt. Start by asking yourself, am I feeling guilty about something I did in the past or present? This will help you determine if the guilt is tied to an action or decision you've made. Then ask, is it real or imagined? This question helps you discern if the guilt you're experiencing is based on fact or fiction. You might also want to consider if you're feeling guilty because you've failed someone, or because you didn't fulfill a promise, or perhaps it's something someone said that's making you feel guilty. In any case, these questions will help illuminate the root cause of your guilt. Bringing the origin of these hostile messages to consciousness helps us take control of the situation, leading to repair and liberation. What can you do when guilt takes hold? Well, firstly, acknowledge it. Let's not shy away from it. Instead, let's take a few mindful minutes to ask ourselves some questions. Questions that will lead us to soothe this feeling. Am I feeling guilty for something I did in the past or present? Is it real or imagined? Did I let someone down? Is it because of something someone said? Or is it because I don't feel responsible, or I didn't keep a promise? These self-reflective questions can help identify the root cause of guilt. It's important to bring these hostile messages to our consciousness. That way we can take charge of the situation, making amends and liberating ourselves. Remember the importance of accepting our mistakes, attempting to rectify them, and forgiving ourselves. Be direct, be sincere, and apologize promptly. Seek help if needed. This is how we learn to navigate our emotions better and mitigate the bitter feeling guilt often leaves behind. Remember, we are all humans and we all make mistakes. The crucial part is to learn from them. But how can you distinguish between real guilt and imaginary guilt? This is the question that often confounds us. Real guilt arises from a tangible misstep, a clear action or inaction that has caused harm. In such cases, it's crucial to take responsibility, face the situation bravely, and make amends where possible. On the other hand, imaginary guilt is a construct of our minds, often rooted in self-imposed punishments or deep-seated beliefs. It's like a shadow that looms over us, even when there's no substance to it. If you find yourself grappling with this kind of guilt, it's time to turn inward. Do a little soul-searching, try to understand why you're punishing yourself, and what beliefs or perceptions are feeding this guilt. Remember, guilt can be exacerbated by negative thoughts, turning a molehill into a mountain. Always remember, conscious breathing, walking, and meditation can help us communicate with our inner selves, and it's essential not to let negative thoughts dominate us.